Welcome to the class of marketing. So, the topic for today is distribution in a services context. I'm Dr. Shanti from Amity, Bangalore. So, why have we taken this topic today? Because the distribution in services is much different than products, and given the characteristics of services like tangibility, variability, and so on, we do find that many a times it is much challenging to distribute the service from a service company to the consumer. And there have been authors who have spoken about the variability in the services and about the challenges, like authors like Parshuraman, authors like Bittner. So let me come up with an example of service. For example, we want to sell a ski resort in Switzerland, or we want to sell a holiday package which is in Kashmir. So definitely it is not possible for us to bring the service, but we can work around the service package, and we can convey to the customer about the service even before he has purchased it. So this is about distribution in service sector. So the next slide is about distribution in a services context. So I already told that in services we often don't move physical products, we are just working around the distribution of the services. Second one, there is a lot of importance towards experiences, performances, which cannot be physically shipped and stored. For example, there is a event, there is a media event, there is a celebrity who is going to come. So in that case, we start promoting about the celebrity online, we start selling the tickets, and however there is nothing physically being shipped or stored in this kind of a event. Example, the Goa events, and so on. The third point is more and more informational transactions are conducted through the electronic and not the physical channel, which means that unlike a product where the distribution channel physically you are moving things, but in case of a service there is more information which is given out to the customers on various platforms, especially the role of technology in transmitting such kind of information to the customers. So coming back to services, what are these three modes in which you can deliver or distribute the services? So there can be three cases. In the first case, the customer can come to the service point, which means, example, the customer goes to the service point, and then he asks or seeks for a customer. And in the second case, the producer company, the employees can go to the service, to go to the customer side and then give the services. So these are two ways. Okay. So we come to the slide of flow model of distribution to services. So what exactly is flowing between the producer and the consumer? Definitely, the service starts with providing information about what the service is, what is the quality, quantity that the customer can expect. For example, we are selling air tickets online, so we give information about the airlines which are being taken from one place to another. So this is the kind of information flow which initiates at the service company, and it can reach to the customer. Second, negotiation flow. Why does this negotiation come? There are a lot of service providers, and definitely the customer wants to try that what is the kind of quantity, quality they have. And in case of dynamic pricing, which is followed by service companies online, so in that case the customer negotiates for a right price at the right time, and depending on the quantity and quality that the customer is expecting, the company and the customer, they get into the negotiation. Third, it is the product flow or the process flow, which means that once the information and the negotiation have been set, then we want to move the product from the producer to the consumer. So in that case, the product or the process, so in that case the electronic channel helps in case of the product flow. So you may take an example where you can see that the service distribution, the information is there, the negotiation is there, and then there is a product flow, which may not be the same in case of a product. So this is something I spoke about, that what are the kind of distribution options or channels that are available to give a better customer service. So when we say a distribution channel in case of services, we mean that it has to be efficient and effective, which means that the right service can be provided to the customer at the right time in order to be more efficient. So the first case which I said, customer will visit the service site. The example is the customer is visiting the airport and there he seeks an service. He takes a flight and he goes where he wants. Second scenario, second example, where I go to the bank and then I speak to some of the manager about an insurance policy which will be most compatible with my needs and requirements. The second example, the service provider is going to the customer. See, because of so many service providers, the service companies are making it possible that the employees of the service company can visit the customer site, and based on their requirement, we can provide them the service we want. However, in this case, because the employees of the customer service company are moving out, so it is a time consuming, it takes more effort, it takes more planning, and this is the second scenario. Third one is when the service transaction in which neither the customer is moving nor the company is moving. However, through the remote transactions, let's say and telecalling, or let's say a digital payment, the service company is able to cater to the customer. So the third case, in which none of the customer nor the service provider are moving, in this case remote transaction happen. One of the best example are digital payments with Google Pay and Phone Pay. So these are the distribution options that are available for the servicing of the customer, and definitely it is ensured that the customer quality is something that we work on. And every time now we see that the service providers are trying to differentiate themselves in the way that they give the service. So once we understood that how do we want to distribute the service to the customer and what are the ways in which our customer can interact with us, we just want to know that who are the stakeholders who are involved in this service triangle. So the service triangle has intermediaries and it has participants. So the participants are definitely the service company and the customer. Now intermediary is a person, is a company, is a group of people who are between the service company and the customer, and they take that additional role of transmitting the service. Since we do not have a retail store where our services can be provided, or since in a service company the kind of retailing is less, so with the help of franchising, the service company can spread their products, processes and services. Best example are the food restaurants like Pizza Hut, McDonald's, KFC, which work on a franchising model, and internationally they've been able to deliver a very unique service to all their customers. Then we have examples of beauty salons and like L'Oreal, Schwarzkopf, Tony and Guy. So these have been able to provide services through franchising. Then there are examples in mobile technology, there are examples in education, there are some examples like Eurokids, Jumbo Kids, where the franchising of the infants and children is taken up, and they are given education in those education centers. There are also some aggregators who kind of are similar to franchising, but they kind of aggregate the customer and the service provider at the distribution channel or at the electronic platform. For example, you find Urban Ladder and Pepperfry, who are an aggregator for furniture. Then you have aggregators for food, you have aggregator for hotels like Oyo. There is also an example of franchising in case of the health segment, which is like Cult.fit. So through their franchising partners, they've been able to spread their network and cater to more customers. Second role is of the agents and the brokers, who are the intermediaries. Example, the travel agents who book on behalf of the service company and they provide service to the customer. And then there is Cox and Kings. There are also insurance agents. So again, these agents and brokers, similar to a product company, they're able to service the customers. However, their role is different in terms of giving information about the product and about the process. So the role of service intermediary becomes very, very important and imperative in case of the service company. We do find that the role of these agents and brokers is changing due to the huge role of technology and due to the huge role of online presence. So this presentation on marketing of services has focused on distribution of services. So we want to know that how the distribution of services is different, and how the role of electronic platform is becoming very important in case of distribution of services. So I stop here.